Right, moving on to our favourite festival, the one that always gets the shout out in this podcast. Well, back to Bloodstock, because Bloodstock do their well, they've had quite a few actually in between the last podcasts, and probably the big one, which, well, I offered my opinion in a written article on the site, but you haven't had a chance to say it. The final main stage headliner was announced for Saturday night, and it was
Parkway Drive.
Parkway Drive.
Told you.
Yes, can you go back and listen to our original one?
We were talking 6 months ago, man.
6 months ago, I think we had like an outside chance,
Yeah.
and then slowly it turned into 99%, and there we go.
Growing and growing.
Yeah.
And then we went to see them, and they didn't announce that at the show actually, didn't they? So
Yeah, the video.
But while we were there as well,
That's right.
they on the stage they said
They did, yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see you again soon. We were all like, oh, was it going to happen?
Yeah,
Is it going to happen?
yeah. That's right. I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
You know my feelings on this, and most other feelings now. I think the bollocks has settled.
I think it's settled enough. Yeah.
You know, and that is I think they deserve a crack. Why not? I thought they were very, very good live. I think they've worked hard to try and get themselves to move up a notch.
Yep.
And if a band works that hard to move up a notch, and then we all go, nah, they don't give them a chance, then what's the point?
Yep.
What is the point for a band trying to become big and become the next Metallica or a headliner and that, if all the fans go, no, we don't really want you to do that. What are we going to do? Just not have headliners in the future?
We'll just keep calling on the oldies, isn't it? Judas Priest come back next year and that
Until
stuff.
they're dead.
Yeah.
You know, it's just crazy, isn't it? I mean, there was a lot of hate when they come out, and it has settled. I think a lot of people... What basically happened, I'll tell you why it settled as well, is that Bloodstock, the organisers, and Vicky Hungerford, who books the bands,
Yep.
rightfully get a lot of respect from the metal community.
Yep.
And people were quite happy to be on the Bloodstock forums calling Parkway Drive and the booking absolute bollocks.
Yep.
Until Vicky came out and put a statement out herself, basically saying, rein it in.
Yeah, you don't like it, fair enough. But
all the people who love Bloodstock but were dissing Parkway Drive are suddenly like, oh, I'm kind of going against my heroes.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I better shut my mouth a little bit. And that's what they've done. So
Did
thank you for
the
doing
amount
that,
of
Vicky.
did the amount of anger, because I was a little bit surprised by such negativity, and what really surprised me was, you know, particularly in certain areas where we're seeing, like on Facebook, where I see certain names who, I mean, why were people I like Sabaton, but seriously,
Yeah.
why was that okay but not Parkway Drive?
But I don't think it would have been. I think there are a lot of reasons for this, right? And I do think, first and foremost, I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. When you read the negative comments on an article on any part of the internet, it doesn't matter where it is, right? So Bloodstock booked 20,000 people in, 22,000 people maybe.
Yeah, okay.
You know, the people that are actually following them on Facebook might equate to 4,000.
Yep. Yeah.
And the comments that we get in an article might equate to 200.
Yes.
It works out to roughly something like 1% of the total Bloodstock goers that are actually spouting negative.
Yep.
It just looks like a lot because it's all
It's
the
so
ones
much,
in the
yeah.
comment condensed into one little area.
Yeah, you're right.
And actually, there are 21,600 people who haven't said anything negative. Doesn't mean that they're all right with it, but they haven't spouted negative.
Yeah.
You know? So you do have to take these things with a pinch of salt and think about the bigger scale of
Yeah,
what
the bigger
Bloodstock's
picture,
about,
yeah.
which is, I'm sure, what people like Vicky and that do when they're booking this.
Of course.
You know? So there is that. I also think that partially the anger or frustration might have been... It would have been the other way around. If, say, they'd booked Parkway Drive earlier for Friday...
Yep.
And then everyone, what they're doing is they're all waiting for that Megadeth or Slayer or you know, who Behemoth or whatever. They're waiting for that big name, that big heavy band. And then when it was Parkway, they was angry. And I think if it had been reversed, and then it had been Sabaton, the anger would have been at Sabaton.
Sabaton.
I don't think it's about Parkway Drive.
Yep.
I think it's because they already have Sabaton, and now they have Parkway Drive, and they all wanted that big name.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's part of it. You know, if they had said Parkway Drive Friday, Slayer Saturday, do you think people would be pissed? Would they be all spouting negative about Parkway Drive? Probably wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I don't think Sabaton got the hate, purely because their announcement was ages ago, but people thought Saturday was for them.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people did. And when it came out, it wasn't actually purely for you guys. They got pissed off. I will say that as much as I did read the comments, and I find it quite hilarious because, again, it's like that we talked about with Attila, basically, is that a lot of the stuff doesn't have context. It'll be a person coming on and saying, well, I only ever normally come for a day, and that's normally a Saturday, so no, I just won't come. And you're like, okay, well, that's a loss.
Yeah, don't come then.
You only ever come for a day anyway, but you're on here raising your opinion about who
Bloodstock
Bloodstock should book.
Yeah.
You should book this band so I can buy my day ticket.
Yeah.
Or people that have been like, well, I haven't been for the last 8 years, and now I definitely won't be coming again.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, you've not exactly
Do you know what I mean? It's
You've
like,
not exactly been helping.
That's really, really good. Or the ones who throw out the recommendation instead. Do you know what I mean? The ones who say, well, I was really hoping it was going to be Crowbar. And you think, as much as I like Crowbar, you really thought they was going to headline?
Yeah.
No offence, but come on, that's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
Or Sleep, or whoever it might be. It's like, yeah, they're all good bands.
I saw Sleep's name come up a few times.
You're not throwing out headliners here, guys.
Yeah, you're just throwing out a band you like. It's to me as well, like when Bloodstock organisers do the live things, Ask Us Anything.
Yeah.
And
you just get a list of bands.
Yeah. Book this, book that. And it's like, shut the fuck up.
But you also get it. I mean, I think actually someone in the comments pointed it out, and I'd noticed it, but they pointed it out, and it made me realise it even more, is that when Bloodstock come out and they do their announcement, so they go like, we're going to tell you on Tuesday a couple more bands.
Yep.
Everybody jumps on then going, naming all these bands, like, no, they're not. They've already got them. They're already booked. You know, you jumping on there now going, it better be Sleep. Book Sleep. And it's like, no. If they're telling you they're going to announce it, it's because they're booked. They're not asking you, can you quickly let us know? Because we want to book some bands for Tuesday.
Like, we've got our phones ready to call. You just tell us who we should book. Yeah, it's very funny.
I mean, I don't mean this for everybody, and this is maybe a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Sometimes I find that the comments on these things are more people trying to, probably Googling the most obscure band they can think of to chuck it in there and be like, check how cool I am.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it is one of those really funny things. We've said from the start months ago that we supported the idea of Parkway Drive. That's grown more because of seeing them live.
Yeah.
More enjoying the album, but I think grown even more because fuck you, as you said at the start, fuck you for not being willing to give anyone another go because it's not Slayer again, or it's not this, and fuck you for saying stupid shit like, oh, they're not heavy or they're this, when the Scorpions are playing on fucking Sunday and Sabaton are playing on fucking Friday.
Yeah. No,
Idiots.
I mean, that's the thing. Is like you don't have to like the band. You also don't have to watch them.
Absolutely.
Which is the other thing that everyone will always say. You know, if you're there and you love the festival, no festival and in the history of time has ever been about the headliners alone.
Of course.
You know, and Bloodstock's certainly not one that's about the headliners alone. We watch, I would say pretty much every time I've been there, it's been more about the other bands, seeing them, than it is the headliners.
Absolutely.
And it's probably the same case this time round, actually, so far. There are other bands that are lower down that are more on my list than the three headliners are.
Agreed.
Although I am looking forward to seeing Parkway Drive again because I thought, you know, that's great. But the big one for me is that I just think like what we're basically doing is, it's like, take it into your real life situation for a minute. What you're saying to people here is like, say I go to work dressed like this every day, right? And then one day I decide, you know what, I'm brassic. I could really do with earning more money and doing better and feeding my daughter better food. And, you know, we're all going to go organic and gluten-free. But I need to earn more money to do that. So tomorrow I decide to go into work in a shirt. And everyone just shouting me down. Because, whoa, hang on, that's not right. You've changed and all that sort of stuff. It's like, you're allowed to have ambition. And I think that's all that Parkway Drive have done in the last couple of albums.
Yep.
They've stayed heavy. Yes, it is a slight change away from their more natural metalcore sound to a more... I don't know, like a more mainstream kind of metal.
I think they're encompassing a bit, anthemic, yeah.
So yeah, they have changed away, but they haven't gone like and created a dubstep album.
No,
do you know what I mean?
This isn't,
You know, their shows are fire and fury and flame. Their lyrical content is hard hitting, crushing, anti-political, very much. You know, it is everything that we normally like in metal. But you don't have to like the band, but you should want your bands to be ambitious.
Have you seen anyone here while it's in my head? You just said that. Have you seen anyone going to? I was a Parkway Drive for years, and then they released the last two albums, and I'm really angry at them. I hate them because of that.
I've seen very few,
but
I have seen some comments where people were like, I'm a big fan of the first album or two.
Wow.
Stuff like songs like Carrion and bits like that.
Yeah, but they're the big hits.
I don't like their new sound, but I have seen more, and I include myself in this. People are saying, well, actually, I wasn't a massive fan of them in the early days. I got into them because of their new stuff being more accessible.
Yep.
And off the back of that now, I wouldn't say I love a lot of their old stuff, but I at least like a few songs very much.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's almost working in reverse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't think for one second that this wasn't the reason why Parkway Drive did it.
Mm-hmm.
They were enjoying what they're doing. They had a great fan base. They seemed like a nice band. They seemed like a decent bunch of blokes that believe in what they're doing and everything like that. But if they wanted to grow, they had to tweak their sound to bring in the fans that weren't currently into them. So they tweaked their sound without dropping the heaviness, without going wacky. That's the thing that I like about it.
Yeah.
They didn't go, right, we want to bring in new fans, so we're going to do a bullet. You know, we're going to release an album that's just like piss poor, but hopefully we'll get some radio play. They went a different way. The way that I'd like to see other metal bands do. If you want to bring in new fans, rather than going, let's go for radio play, let's go to tweak a sound to bring in the other genres.
Yeah.
Bring in the fans of the other genres. And I think it's worked for them so far. And be very surprised if people who aren't sure about Parkway Drive but give them a go at Bloodstock don't come out of there at least having a little bit of respect, going, yeah, do you know what, fair play. May still not be my cup of tea, but they deserve the slot. You know?
I think it'll be potentially like when I saw Trivium play live there, or headline on Friday. They were very similarly, like a lot of people were like, oh no, not happy about that. And they pulled in a big crowd at the start and people just drifted away. I think it'll be similar thing to Parkway.
It quite possibly will. I mean, the only thing that I think Parkway might be able to do to keep people there longer is that if you do, and we all do, you like a bit of a show and a bit of fire and all that sort of theatrical. You know, you're not going to get bored watching a Parkway Drive set.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? It's not a boring watch. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're looking forward to it. Fair play to them.
Yeah. So elsewhere, though, the final Sophie Lancaster stage headliner was announced, which was a Saturday as well, which is Talk. Yeah. Do you know much?
I know of them. Yep. I know that they're a massive Norwegian, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, black metal, proper old.
Yeah, almost the polar opposite of the band we were just talking about to a degree. I wouldn't say I know an awful lot of them musically, but again, it's like one of those kind of iconic, legendary bands that I have never seen before. Yeah. So, you know, I'll absolutely be attempting to try and catch it.
Well, my hope is we'll be buzzing from Parkway.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool, let's go check out a bit of black metal, see a bit of it. I doubt I'd want to watch a whole hour of it.
I might go in and watch them wearing a Parkway Drive shirt.
That'll piss
the purists off, won't it?
Elsewhere, Cancer Bats, which I'm a big fan.
Yeah, you're a big fan. Great. I'm not particularly, but don't care. That's fine. Yeah, not for me.
Speedhorn, Raging Speedhorn.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's just a name from the past for me. Do you know what I mean? I was never a massive Raging Speedhorn fan. I probably never will be. But it's like, oh, cool.
Yeah,
I remember them.
Yeah, might check them out, kind of thing. Yeah. Shapes or Shuvs.
I don't like them.
Yeah, don't get this one. This is an odd one.
I mean, yeah, no, I don't mean this. I was going to say this, but I don't really mean it. But if you're going to throw hate at some bands, or are you going to be like, Bloodstock don't do these sorts of bands about Parkway Drive? I mean, there are other bands on the lineup you could say that about more. I'm sure they have. They're technically, what are they? Technical metal.
Yeah.
Tech metal. I don't even know what you classify them as. I've never really got it.
Yeah,
I have listened to them as well. That's the thing. I have tried.
You've tried.
I think I've reviewed them something of theirs on the site as well once.
It does ring a bell.
And and that was really annoying as well because bloody writing in SHVPES does wonders for your spell check. Constantly telling me everything's wrong with red lines underneath it. It's like it's not wrong.
Generation Kill.
I don't know these.
I know the name, nothing by them. Aborted, it's aborted. That's great. It's a solid
Terrorvision.
one. Yep, Terrorvision.
Yeah, good album. Actually, one of them in my top 50 from last year.
Saw them last year. Play the Dome in London. Yeah. Great band. Skeletal Remains, another good band. Good, happy with that. The Lazies.
Yeah, I don't know these.
They're a rock band. Funny enough, I do. I saw them at Black Heart last year. The Lazies and someone else. Can't remember who they were with, but they're a decent rock band. They're fun. You know.
That? Where's the Friday night? Rambling Man.
The same one.
Is that the same band?
Same band.
I thought that. Yeah, the Lazies.
The Lazies, same band. Rambling Man as well.
So it's going to be rock.
Yeah, it's rock. It's rock and roll, that kind of thing. Okay, you know.
Cool. That's all right.
Three-Headed Snake. I've never heard of them.
No, same. Never heard of them.
Dust Bolt.
No. Again, don't know them.
Red Method.
Red Method do know.
Yep.
And mainly through Metal to the Masses Essex.
Yep. One of the guest headliners.
Yeah.
And the last but not least, the mighty Boss Keloid, which I think's a fantastic booking. Love Boss Keloid, you know? Yeah, seen loads of times.